You're live. Great. That should work, hopefully. Yeah, I'm only managed to put up a couple stream elements with like follower goal. You can see the chat, hopefully, from Twitch and nowhere else. But each stream, I plan to do a little bit more each time and slowly get it to where I want it to be. And I'm surprised the stream name is called that. I thought I scheduled it to something else. Yeah. There we go. Thank you. Okay, I think everything's good now. Let's go back to Unreal. We have 7 viewers. So nice. All right. So, how do we want to start? I think we're gonna just start with a pose of him inside of the pot. And honestly, this is probably going to be not so amazingly important on account of like he's going to be concealed by it almost in its entirety. I have to add this pot over here to the track because although the way it's set up in the blueprint is that this static mesh sort of is just already attached to the bone, I'm gonna have to manually do it here so that it matches up. I believe it's the first one. Plot. And I will zero it out. And it should be here really small, yeah. And so it should match the bone scale and everything. And then we want to drag this out so that it's attached for the entire length of the track. One moment. Yeah. I'll be 30 seconds. All right, sorry. Can you guys hear me? I didn't check. I didn't ask about the sound levels. The music in the background is actually the track that I commissioned for the project. I have to put it down at like 1% volume, and I think it ends up being good. Okay, mixing seems good to me. Just working and watching when I can. Okay, yeah, I think it's all okay. So what was I gonna say? Yeah, because it's gonna be concealed by the pot for the majority of it. I'm literally just going to like do something very simple to begin with, where I'm just gonna be like he's gonna be crouched down low and like cuddled up. I'm going to turn this on. So basically, whenever I change the position or any of the properties, it's not gonna just. I don't have to manually set a keyframe, basically. Not even really care all that much about what he looks like, because we just want to set up the initial bit for the pot. And I'll actually, from the body control offset, I believe that should not affect the pot. I'll try it out. Oops. I'm gonna scale up the pot. And if the body control offset scales the pot as well, then it doesn't have the it doesn't have the hierarchy. I think it's scaling the root as well, because the pot is parented to the root, and I kind of want to just scale down Sigurd without scaling the pot as well. I might be able. I'm pretty sure there is. I could do the hips maybe, body. This is no. I could parent this. I could reparent this to something else so that it maintains the scale of something else. And I think if I like maintain the root, maybe might be overthinking it. I'm just gonna scale it down to maintain some speed here. It would def still be cool to see Sigurd's feet when he go. Yeah, I do plan to do like once I get to the polishing part, but for now I'm just going to like literally half-ass it. Because what I'm gonna do, the plan is to like take a very like iterative approach and just kind of see it in game. I'm gonna set up some debug controls to like just see him play this montage and like sort of like this, eh? Just like see his little feet through here, and he'll sort of like waddle around. And scale down the hat so that it's not intruding. Keyframe here. I'm like a lot of animators, they're like scared of just putting scaling keys, and I'm not really like some I don't know what animation school told them that they're like only allowed to rotate bones, but translate them, scale them, do whatever actually looks good. Like here, you shouldn't ever have the camera in here to like see him all screwed up here, so it doesn't matter. If you've seen like behind the scenes of like Pixar type things, their shots are just so screwed up sometimes, and you shouldn't worry about it. And I mean, well, it depends on the style to some degree, but it's more like I think animation schools teach it because it should be in an ideal world. Like you should have that functionality built into the rig so that it like deforms more cleanly. But like I wish I had the name on hand. But there's like shots out there where it's like, this is how I set up my. I work at Disney, and this is how I set up my shot. And it's like the character's arms out of shot are like stretched like 5 meters, and like you just can't see it because the camera's not looking at it. And the same principle in games is like if you can't see it, then like who cares? So I think what he's gonna do is something just like he's like brings it up over his head, and oh, what was that? I got noise, but I don't see anything in chat. I'm still learning, guys. Oh, Filthy Shinobi followed. That was Neo 1140 has followed. I think you guys can see the notification, but I can't. Yeah, I have to open up OBS to see that. All kinds of new things I'm learning. And it's really hard to test this stuff when it's not live because like all these things are coming from different places and they're not super clear. Like I tested out the notifications and all that for Streamlabs, and like I could hear the sound, and I'm like, okay, that's good enough. It'll work. And we'll debug this stuff as we go. So what I'm gonna do is it's gonna just come out the side here. Change this to a world space. And I think he's gonna like reach back with his left hand, and he's just gonna like throw it over his head. But first, before we polish any of that, it's gonna be mostly just like seeing if it actually works out in game. Bring it over his head. And honestly, I might just keep that for a second. And we're gonna like debug this stuff in game. Now we'll bake this out, and it'll be animation sequence Sigurd, hot block start 01. Yeah, the notifications show up nice and clean. Like it's all the default animations and sounds and images, but it as long as it's working, that's a good start. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write some debug keys into this guy, and basically whenever I press a key, it's gonna play a montage. This is all the stuff that Jasura has been writing. Like very clean. It's very nice. Very much like the blueprint flow that he's been doing. Debug key also. Whoa. String. Press, and then we will play a montage. I baked out the animation, but I did not change it into a montage. That's not the right place. Sigurd, animations, hot block start. We'll create a montage out of this, and this is what we're going to be playing. Montage to play. Maybe I have to compile and save everything. And then bring the skeletal mesh up to connect to here. Hot block start. And I think that'll work, like right out of the gate. And I think the map is set up so that it uses... That's not good. That's not happened before. Oh well. We're doing it live, folks. Yeah. Laugh at me. I was testing earlier and it worked, so I am not 100% sure if I've broken something in the meantime. So he goes there. Third person. Okay. Oh, well, see, it works, at least. I don't know why it's, like, lagging like fuck, but... Okay. Our approach will be, we can evaluate it. What we're gonna do is, because I don't want to set up all the logic in the animation blueprint so that, like when I press O, you're now in pot block state, and then it just sets it to a looping thing. Because that's just, it's not the scope of what I'd like to do today. But I do want to check out to make sure that there's nothing... Like, if the animation plays when that happens... I'm going to check this out. Yeah. I don't know why it crashed last time. But if the animation plays when... Then it's going to work in-game. It's just setting it up so that things blend right and it's playing the right animation at the right time. But sometimes, like, I like to check that because, like, maybe there's, like, some discrepancy that I didn't think about with, like, how the bone is controlled here. So then this starts doing something crazy or the scale's wrong. So as long as I can see that it's doing something, then it's like, okay, cool. That's good enough for me. Let's go back to block start. I think this was a bit too... Let's look at it. I think we want the pot a little bit bigger when it's in this state. And what I should have done, I shouldn't have baked out the animation sequence. I should have linked it, because that would make it super easy to test. I'll actually redo that and show you guys the smarter and faster way to work. If I go here and instead create a linked animation sequence, I'm going to call it the same thing, but linked. Animation sequence, Sigurd, hot block, start, linked. I'll change the one that the montage is referencing to that. Link. I shouldn't have any other link. So I'll give a demonstration of why we did that. So here you can see it's working. Now I'm gonna do something crazy and just like bring it way up so we can see that it's working. Press another keyframe, save it, and hopefully if I set it up right, it was like, 3 seconds to iterate, It's like immediately there. And that's kind of why that's so, like, this workflow of working in Unreal and like working as close to the source as possible will save you so much time in the long run. Because like, hey, that pot is a bit too big because of the animation. Oh, okay, well, this is what I'll do. I'll just scale it down, and I'll because it's a linked animation, when I press save here, it updates everything. I don't have to go to Maya and then redo this and then export it and then see if it's right or not. It's just like that. It's right there. And yeah, I think once people catch on to working in Engine, like, just the animation workflow is going to increase like so many-fold. Like my last couple jobs, like, stuff went by at least twice as fast compared to traditional workflows. Yeah. Yes. Switching between tools really does suck. Okay, let's hold this for a bit longer. Like I said, I'm just going to start off by blocking out things, so I don't really care all that much about, like, how the animation looks right now. I'm going to basically make a pose out of this. Might make his stance a bit wider, because I think that'd be funny to see his feet poking out a bit more. And it doesn't really matter, like, if it doesn't have a... might even, like, enlarge him a little bit. Because what we're doing is very cartoony stuff, so that it doesn't, like, physically make sense is not a big deal. He should be holding this for a while. Let's grab all the keyframes. I think this button here will add one to each, yeah. And then I'm going to copy and paste those at the end. I just kind of want to see how this looks. Save. I'm going to have to scale the cane and such. But you can imagine, like, I'm not even sure if we're going to have, like, a walking functionality with it, but I think that'd be kind of funny to see, like, the pot bumping around and there's big wobbly feet going up and down. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So maybe we'll redesign that. What do you think, Desura? I was thinking of asking about that since I agree. Little Waddle for the Greatest Warrior would go hard. I think so. I mean, it doesn't have to, like, you won't be walking as fast as like this, but like just a little bit of repositioning would just be really, really funny. And like, you wouldn't really want to use it in gameplay if you didn't have to, because you probably move like a lot slower, but I think just the comedic value offers a lot. So yeah, I think we'll do add a walk cycle into that. So I think what we need is we need a pot start, which is that one. We need a loop for when he's not doing anything. We need a react for when he's hit with something and like the pot will kind of like jangle on him. And then the idea is that every time he takes damage, he's going to have his stamina go down a bit. And once he's at 0, the pot will like fly off him and he'll be like thrown back as like a stance break. So, yeah, I think we're going to block out everything of that and then start to polish them. I'm feeling this scale though for the pot. Like, what do you guys think? Like I'm gonna... the timing's wrong. It should happen over like this. Actually, I'll just do that real quick. Show you how to retime things. opening up the curve editor, and in here you can see all the keyframes for the animation. And if you want to retime things, they changed this recently. Go to the start of the animation, put a marker here. Where we want it's at 73, I believe, is when he has the pot on his head. So I'm just gonna grab that end here, and then I can literally just pull this back. I'm gonna undo. I'm gonna toggle snapping off because snapping can do some weird things where like it'll snap to the nearest key, and then sometimes they start overlapping each other, and there's two keys that exist on the same frame. It's kind of just annoying. But yeah, I'll go and I'll retime it like this and put it down like much quicker. And then save. Let's see what that looks like. Even faster. I do like the puzzle opportunity it gives us. A mode for Sigurd could be a cool limitation to do platforming stuff. Yeah, I could that, but also like if you're like walking through an area where there's like, I don't know, like rocks falling on you or something, and having a pot over your head makes some sense. Oops, I don't think I'm selecting everything here. Yeah, let's bring it even further. And let's see. It's close enough for what we want, I think. And I think I do like this scale. I don't think it's too big or too small because keep in mind, there's also going to be other abilities that we can do with the pot. Like we're going to be like putting him like in the pot as like a boat, and there's because I don't want to really want to do underwater mechanics in the game, and I don't want to do like swimming animations. What he's going to do, he's actually going to bob in the cauldron and then like use his cane as like a row, and I think that'll be really fun. So yeah, let's just for the moment, like I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, I'm gonna take the cane out. I think I can't remember if because before the cane was just on a socket on the hand, and I last night put it on an actual weapon bone, and I don't know if I updated that yet. If it's not, then we're just gonna have to deal with the fact that the cane's gonna be protruding and being annoying for a little bit. So, yeah, I think we'll just have to deal with the cane protruding for this session, and I'll fix it off stream. Well, yeah, I was gonna do a little idle. An idle pose. We can start with an idle pose, and then it should be good to move on to something. How we make a pose? We just go to the poses menu and create pose. This can be like a really annoying. Like it really does not want you putting the poses in a different folder. And sometimes I just create them here wherever it wants to, and then I just bring them to where I want because it can, like, it just sometimes refuses to do it. At least in every version I've worked with thus far. Pot idle, and this should be good enough to like just apply this idle whenever we need. Like if we're gonna start animating from this pose to him taking it off, or from like being his stance broken or whatever, like that'll be the start of it. But honestly, for this, what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to go to this one. I'm gonna duplicate it, block start, and block idle. And I'm gonna delete all the keys that aren't that. I'll do a basic idle where he kind of like has some, I guess, breathing movements where the pot sort of just up and down a little bit. Say 60 frames probably is good. What is this? I don't care. way through. I don't... Is this parented? Is the pot parented? No, it's not. So we'll have to do the body and the pot at the same time. I'm gonna have to rejigger this off stream so that the pot's parenting behavior is a bit more connected to some element of the root and not the body. The rig's not set up exactly right for that. Why was the pot not going up and down here? Up a little bit, maybe a bit less. Here, bring this up. Can't really see much of Sigurd doing anything, so maybe bring his feet up a little bit. I think the skinning on his boots is probably not so good. And then let's bring this. Oh yeah, already you can start to see that it's like, oh, there's a little bit of silliness here, and let's look at it. Yeah, I think that's fun. This is gonna be a fun. This is turning out to be a bit more fun than I even thought. Did I miss anything? 13 viewers, Jesus Christ! Did not expect people to jump in. Can't wait to implement this. Haha. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I like it only came to mind yesterday to like make this a priority because like we're getting to the point where we have a lot of the main mechanics in the game, like the absolute basic stuff done, and to the point where it's like you can show it off. So now I'd like to have at least one feature that showcases the silliness we're going for, because you know it's like we do have some decent animations thus far that are silly. Like the attacks have some squash and stretch to them. The third one there, he kind of like slams it on the ground and he's like defying physics as it's like the quintessential Looney Tunes hammer pose. When we jump, there's like some squash and stretch here, and you can see his hat kind of like lags behind. And everyone I show this running animation to, they all laugh because the hat kind of bobs up and down. And like, yeah, those are all funny elements that are like making their way into the game and that we want to showcase. But like in terms of features, like none of our like nothing that we're doing is exceptional or particularly interesting. So having at least one thing to show off like this, I think will be fun. All right, so we said idle. Let's do basic hit react. Like I said, I'm not going to like polish everything today. I'm going to basically set up the baseline. So this, I duplicated the idle. So I think this does go back. This goes back to idle. So what we do here, I think this will be more like. I'll retime it actually. That'll be easier than grabbing everything. We'll make it like 30 frames or something. And the selection. There we go. Make it like half that. 30. Let's see how much. So what we're gonna do is, he gets hit. The pot will like sort of like rotate and come off a little bit, and then you'll like. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see much of him underneath, but the pot at least will be like. Let's say. I don't know if I want it like. Sudden, like you know, like it's an animation thing where you just like immediately on the next frame, if you want to like really emphasize the impact, you can like make it go off like very quickly. But you know what I mean? Like it's just like, yeah, I think that'll be better. Something like that. And he has to go off balance here. And eventually I'm going to get it to the polish point where I might I'll rotate the pot maybe so that the handles are like this, and he like kind of like he's like holding on to it as it comes off him. But right now, like I said, we're just going to do the absolute basics so that we can kind of get a feel for what we're going with this feature. I'm a big fan of never going too much in depth with art stuff when you're like prototyping a feature, because like there's so much that could change, and like we took out a lot of the margin for error in implementation by doing like something like this, where we can play it and check it. Because if the animation plays on the character that's set up, then usually you're good. You just have stuff to do in the animation blueprint and the blueprint to actually make it all work together. And then at that point, it's not the animation's fault if something isn't working. I see the potential to make this an alternative to make slam attack. Yeah, I could see that too. Like, you know, like you could do. There's honestly a lot of things that you can do with the pot, and to some degree, it's a choice, design wise, of like how much do I want to give to the pot, and because we don't even have the Munin character done, which is the bird that's going to follow him around and be sort of his Kazooie. And you know, you want to have you don't want him to be like sidelined too much. You don't want to give too much to the pot, and you don't want to give too much to the bird. You want to kind of like spread it out and explore our artistic and creative options, so that honestly, my driving philosophy is do what's funniest, because I think that's what's going to ultimately be a selling point of this game, is that stuff is going to be whimsical and fun, and we're going to do stuff that other people have not done. We're not going to see something like that's been done a million times before. So yeah, hit reaction. Let's see. Boom, boom. How much? Actually, I'll just take a reference. Like, I don't have like, I haven't animated to the point where I can remember. Like, because often when you're an experienced animator, you'll like have an internal clock for like, oh, this is gonna be 24 frames versus 48 frames or something. So these are like 25, and I thought that was okay from what we've done. That's actually not the hit react that we're using, so I think we call ours hurt. What are we doing here? You can see that the the preview asset is still the AI generated garbage that looks really bad. Okay, so that's like 48 seconds or something. And I think that one's honestly too slow. But honestly, once it's baked out to an animation, I can change the play rate anyway. So I think this is good for now for a hit react. So hit react. What were the getting knocked out of the pot is going to be a longer one, and then kind of just wanting to save that for last. So let's do a basic little walk. Duplicate pot block. Are you going to change the audio so it sounds like you're in a pot? That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. I'm going to mark that down because I'm going to forget it otherwise. But pot deafened audio. That'd be so funny. Yeah, there's a lot of audio stuff I'd love to do. And I mean, these kinds of games are renowned for it. Like Banjo-Kazooie and all that. Like, you go underwater and the soundtrack changes, and doing this kind of thing is definitely in the cards. You got 4 more viewers than Ask_Jesus. Road to Greatness. Well, that's good. Oh, and because it'll be hilarious to hear you literally getting your bell rung by baddies. Yeah, I think that'll definitely be something that we'll consider. Like when you get the hit react here, it's gonna be like dong dong. And it's like that's it. Sound effects in these games are also really important to be like funny and humorous and evoke cartoons of yesteryear. Like, I don't see a lot of games doing that these days. I can imagine extra sound effects of the cauldron being rattled and such alongside footsteps. Oh, that's a good idea for hit react. Yeah, I think this like I've had this idea since for I don't know like 7 years now, but like seeing it start to come at least in theory to a little bit of fruition, it's like okay, yeah, no, this was a winning idea for since the start. I think this will be fun. So yeah, let's open up the the pot walk so that we don't forget to actually open it. Because like a downside of just duplicating stuff and then being willy-nilly like that is like if you continue working on the same one and without opening up the new one, you're just like overriding what you just did. And I've done that many. I won't say many times, but there's been multiple occurrences I've done that. So again, we are not going to go into the whole polishing of things at this exact moment. We're going to do a basic. We're basically just going to like move the foot up and down, maybe a little bit of a bob. I'm not sure yet. Bring this back. And also something not being... I've done animation enough where I can animate, but I still do not have stuff memorized to the point where I can remember every frame in the animator's survival guide for making a walk cycle. I always have a reference in the background where I'm like, okay, this is how we do this is how we do that, and okay, so this has to be forward here at 30, and this one has to be backward at 30, and the body will be whenever there's like a pullback here, the body should go up. And then here should go back down. And then it should go back up here. Boom, 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 something like that. And then as it's pulling back, pulling forward, I mean, this foot should probably be up a bit. And then pulls back. The other foot, as it comes forward, I have a keyframe there already. Bring it up. And then, let's see, I think I'm going to want it a bit faster than that. You going for the Smurfs kind of vibe? That's funny. Like, I kind of got that impression right when, like, he said that. Like, just seeing the big ass feet, it's like, yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Smurfs. But no, we're going for like Banjo-Kazooie kind of thing. I feel bad for Sigurd, dude's gonna be hella deaf once a gang of goblins start beating on the cauldron. Yeah, he's well, I mean, he's 92. He's probably already half deaf, so can't get much worse. Yep, it gives so many vectors for design too, like the pitch shifting as it gets closer to getting knocked out of the pot. Definitely writing this down, awake, but at what cost? Oh, hey, Mika, how's it going? Good prototyping assets keep you motivated, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, keeping momentum is very important in these types of projects because otherwise people kind of just give up if they don't see stuff happening. And oftentimes you have to do the balancing of like, do I work on something that's super important for the structure of this, or do I just put out something that looks cool because that's going to help other people be motivated to contribute as well? I struggled to visualize a project without the assets, to be honest. And yeah, I've gotten that a couple times with like working with programmers who were like, I'd really like the assets to be able to like make this feature better. And that really does speed, like the faster you can get the programmer assets, sometimes it's just like a day later, they're like, oh, okay, now this feature is like 3 times as good as what we thought. Okay, so we'll save this as pot block walk. And I think, unless I'm forgetting something, there's just the getting thrown out of the pot, and that one's going to take like even an hour to block out, so I might skip part of it. Let's go from the hit react base there. Block. What should we call it? I'm just gonna say thrown out of pot. I need to get more music for this stream because I'm gonna get fucking bored if we just have James's track in the background for. I think it only has like 1 minute of audio. So he's gonna end up in the idle pose, and it's gonna be like probably like 3 seconds at least, something like this. Let's see, because he's gonna fly out of the pot, probably do like a roll, and then like adjust his hat and like go back to idle. Can you attack while in the pot? Headbutt enemies like a turtle lol. I'm thinking no. Like I'm wanting it to be more like a binary state where like okay, you have the pot on your head, and not only just because like it starts adding a bunch of extra work in like an exponential way if you start like adding new abilities once you're in a new state. Like I think like just being able to block, like that opens up a ton of design already, because like we said, like if there's like an area where like rocks are falling on you or something like that, that'll be fun. Use it in combat, etc. So yeah, like I said, it's gonna end with the idle pose. So let's go here to poses, select controls, and I should be able to just. I don't think the pot is in this selection, so I'll have to put that back to normal. Being able to pull it out while you're jumping for 0 damage slam attack, that just has a pushback, could be fun too. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's all about figuring out what we can do reasonably, because that is, you know, it's a lot of animation work, and whether that's actually like worthwhile or not is up for debate. I think the pot starts at like friggin' 0 scale, very close to 0 scale. So back here, yeah. We'll bring this over here. So here for now, and so he should hit, and then he'll go to a different pose, like. Say like to here, like at this much timing, and he's basically gonna like fly off, and he will be like on his ass. I am not going to do the whole extent of what I imagine it, like just this second, because I'm imagining him like falling back and like doing a back roll, and like his feet go over his head, and that I'm. Remember when we were talking about it a long time ago, but if I remember correctly, the pot's unequip animation would do some knockback but wouldn't damage stuff. I mean, it's quite possible. There's a lot of brainstorming that went on. But yeah, the idea is for Friday to have enough animation stuff so that Desura can... I've said your name, like, I've pronounced it like 5 different ways, but Desura having the... even if we don't have the blueprint raw logic down, I can still like do like what we've done here and just sort of prototype it where I can have debug keys, and we'll show. I'll just fudge it where there's goblins attacking, and I'll just play the animations manually. But the idea is for Friday to have a working prototype so that I can make a video of that and sort of show off a time-lapse montage process of doing the whole thing. But yeah, let's continue on here. You're pronouncing it fine, lol. Also, I think at most a slam could fit with the pot. Design-wise, couldn't make sense if we went that direction. Solo hot dog. Yeah, knockbacks are great if there's a reason to need to get breathing room, but I haven't played the build yet. Yeah, we are still super rough with with combat, and hopefully within a couple weeks we'll be able to get that a bit more solid. It's just all about uh, us making time to get it right. Um, I'm going to get his idle pose here. Not because I'm going to. I just want to undo a lot of this garbage that happened with me scaling him down to look right when he was under the pot. So boom, and then at this point he'll be on his ass for the most part, and this I think is going to have to be root motion animation on account of we'll want it to, let's say you're backed up against a wall and you want this animation to play. You don't want his like mesh like flying through the wall and all that stuff. So if we keep it as root motion, like the engine will be able to know like don't push him back behind the wall. Instead, like all this backward motion, it would basically stop once he hit the wall. So yeah, we're gonna make it root motion and basically counter animate the pot. This is a bit too much to the side. I don't think if the pot were to fly through objects, it would be that immersion breaking. I think it'd be fine. I think we want to change off IK for this part on account like we'd have to like manually place these legs like up in the air with like some rotations and stuff, and that's annoying. So what I'm gonna do is for here, actually maybe for the entire animation, we'll see. We'll turn this off. First, I want to put some keys on the FK parts so that, because even though they're hidden right now, the controls for the FK are there. So if I put keys like this, presumably, hopefully, once I switch to FK here, they won't screw up the legs. Of course, I completely lied. I think I'm missing a key. Or maybe it has something to do with the rotation. What's going on here, bud? What is this here? Maybe I don't have the thigh keyframed. I do. I think I know what's going on. Just because I scale up this here, like that's gonna screw with the IK chain, but like the FK, if I can make them visible right now, like they're not reacting to that. So I might for this fudge it. Like what I'll do is we'll start with the FK and we'll make them like look as close as possible to before. And what will be the solution is that like when blending, the animation blueprint and all that should fix it. Like we shouldn't have to worry about it. And these are still switching on here. Can I see it here? I'm actually just gonna delete every. No, that wouldn't work because I have some translation keys here. So I'll just manually go through there since there's only a couple. Turn it off for each. You can. Like, combat is still unpolished, but I'm working on a branch making some improvements. I mean, I'm mainly here to spy on a real human using the animator panel. It's good osmosis. You can technically pull the repo right now, but I've been updating it frequently. Yeah, I can't pull it exactly right now because I do have some changes on the third person character as well as maybe some other places that I'm gonna have to discard before I pull. But yeah, we'll definitely check it out soon-ish. I have it set up, just haven't had a chance to run it yet. Right, I forgot. Yeah, I gave Solo Hot Dog access to the repo as well. Um, but yeah, let's fling him over here. At this point, he should be on the ground. I need to just find which is the correct controller. Yeah, this is not amazing because the pot should not be parented to that. So I'm just going to make a little workaround here, and this should work. Give me the pot. I don't see the pot because the filter is wrong, the filtered name. So I put it in the global space, and I'm just going to take these keyframes off for a second so I can see if it's working or not. And so, yeah, even if I might have put the global keyframe in the wrong place. I think I put it here. I should have put it back here. World, and then, okay. Yeah, sometimes, let's see if comp all works. Yeah. One thing I'm not a huge fan of animating in Unreal is it can get really funky with their global, local, or parent switch. So I'll just do that quickly. What's going on? There's like some weird keyframes. So I'm going to delete basically everything, and because this will be easier than screwing around with it. So hit, and honestly, it should be like over on the ground by this point. Timing is wrong. And then world space. And that should stay in world space regardless of what's going on with Sigurd. Jordan wanted to ask, I got some time this weekend to look at making some bones for the tag system. Should we wait with that, or am I okay to look at that? We could definitely look at that, because what Beat is talking about is whenever we grab onto a ledge for something, the raycasts kind of don't discriminate. We can grab onto basically anything right now, and a tag system would basically like filter through, like it would check tags on the objects, and certain things you wouldn't be able to grab onto, like Sigurd would potentially grab onto this ring light, even though it's like, a couple centimeters long, and you won't want him grabbing onto every object. It's not important for the prototype or the showcase, because I'm going to be the one recording gameplay. I'm going to be deciding what I'm grabbing onto, but if it's definitely something that you might actually, it might be hard to do that because Desura is working in the third-person blueprint often, and I presume you'd have to do that work there too, so it's not ideal for this exact weekend. Are there boobs in this game for me to jork it to? Not yet, but there will be, I think. I have some plans for some characters eventually down the line that are very funny. If any of you recall the Banjo-Kazooie, the game over screen, the bimbification machine. It's like we gotta have an homage to that in some capacity. It's just like imagine the game over screen and Sigurd just gets huge tits for some reason. I could see it. Yes, exactly, the bimbification machine. What was I saying? What was I doing before I got... Oh, right. Yeah, now that we have it parented to the world, whenever I do this, this should not be screwing with things. So I can put them on the ground properly, and we will go from there. And we're going to retime this because this is wrong with our new timing here. And we're going to move actually all of these keys back as well. I put a bunch of keys here for no reason. Right, let's get rid of all this garbage and move all this stuff back to our new timing here. And hopefully that will look semi-decent if I'm interpreting this right. And it's semi-decent. It's going to look garbage, but I mean, it's going to work for what we're prototyping. Yeah, I like this track that I commissioned from an old. Well, I mean, I'd worked on him, worked with him on 2 different projects now, and he's always been quite professional. His name's James Watkins. Track is good for online content, definitely. I put it in one of the shorts I did. Then it uploaded to YouTube earlier today. Or well, I'll upload it to everywhere basically. Everywhere except for Instagram. I had to manually put it there because that only has post scheduling for business accounts for whatever reason, and that kind of sucks. It's so like there's so many little things when you're creating content that you don't think about until like you're actually doing it. Just thinking about like thumbnails and all. Just when I originally thought it's like, oh, I'm gonna make some videos, like I didn't think I'd need like a microphone boom or ring light or think about how lighting or any of all this garbage works. And it's just like it's been fun because it's a part I've not learned as of yet. I think that I'm just going to keep this relatively garbage looking, and I'm going to move on to prototyping to see if it kind of works in engine. Set this back to norm. No, I'm not selecting. I'm selecting the object like world details right now. I'm not. That's not what I'm wanting to do. I'm going to. Why is this here? This should be going back to its default settings. 0.0101.01. We're going to move on to baking all these or creating linked sequences for all of these, and then trying it out in the third-person blueprint to make it easier for Desura to prototype with them. So we're gonna do animation sequence Sigurd. What did I call this? I know there's should say somewhere around here. I'm just gonna look real quick. Pot thrown out. Dude giving Sigurd the Withers treatment is gonna be Game of the Year material. Hell yeah. Blueprints are your kryptonite. I think everyone feels that way to begin with, but honestly, it's so nice to be able to, like, once you learn it, it's like control rigs work the exact same way conceptually. Like, they have some different things, but, like, the whole... why is there not much... There we go. The whole flow of things, it's, like, looks super complicated, but follows the same logic as blueprints. Then there's, animation blueprints that look the same. You know blueprints, then you know animation blueprints. The event graphs work in the same way. And then there's another couple big one. The PCG generator works mostly the same as blueprints. And then there's one other major one that I'm forgetting. But if you know one of them, it becomes super easy to learn the others, and that's why I'm a huge advocate for them, even if they do have their downsides in some places. Did I create this, or did I get sidetracked? I did not. Well, I got confused using nodes and nukes, so this is giving me flashback. Yeah, I mean, most node systems are somewhat similar in most programs. Create link sequence, and we'll put it in animation sequence. I already forgot what it was called. Pot thrown out, I think. And we're gonna change that into a montage real quick, because I think it's gonna have to be a montage for what we want to do. Then we're going to do that for all the others as well. Hit react. We only did the pot put on his head, I think, so far. Yes. Block start. So we have to do all the others. Block start, block hit react. Animation sequence, block hit react. Alright, need to do Sigurd. Let's go, and then we'll go to the next one, which is block idle. Animation sequence Sigurd, block idle. This is the boring stuff, but hopefully I've planned things in a way that I've minimized the amount of boredom you guys will experience watching. Because I did put up a little bit of work last night into making sure that conceptually this should all work out, and you don't have to watch me troubleshooting for which one was this? Was this the block idle? This is the block walk. Yeah, usually whenever I'm working in Unreal, like, well, any program really, I'm just like half the fucking time is just troubleshooting and not even doing any artistic or anything fun. I should say pot block. Yeah, I feel you, but for me personally, I was struggling a lot with programming because I couldn't visualize it well, and having worked on the project over the summer has helped a lot after I got back to school. Yeah, the thing is like with programming is, at the end of the day, conceptually what's going on under the hood is like all the same, regardless of like the front end that you're seeing as a developer. Like the idea of like objects and variables and all that transcends this whatever's in front of you there with either you're typing in Visual Studio or you're making nodes in whatever program. It's like the idea of tracking the flow of information. Like I think seeing it in different ways, the information, it just helps your brain expand and conceptualize it in more than just one way, and you get a more wholesome and holistic understanding of the topic. Yeah, I have a very I have an art brain, not program brain, like Mr. Thirsty Nerd Twitch here is the G. Thank you very much. I agree that I am quite the gangster, but I'd say, like, at my last job, my boss asked us, like, oh, just so you seem like you're more technically inclined. Would you say you're like more like if 0 is very artistic and 10 is very technical? He's like, you seem like you're like a 7 on the scale, and it's like, no, I feel like I'm like right at the 5, and that's why I like both the technical stuff and the artistic stuff. It's like, this is why game development is so fun to me, because it engages like all parts of your brain. Like you get to be creative as well as technical, and you have to problem solve, and everything's everything's new every day and you're never doing the same thing. It's like I really am feeling like I'm both a technical and an artistic person. And if someone pigeonholes me into one or the other, that's when I'm not so happy. Yeah, I mean, my old boss was actually really good, Mika. I liked him. He was fun. I didn't like working at the place near the end of it, but like it was actually a really good job. Now we need an emote for Gangster Paradise, Jordan. Yeah, I'm gonna think about emotes and like chat specific, whatever they're called, channel points. I have some ideas. It's just I haven't like I thought it'd be a lot easier to set up stuff than it was, and I spent like all this morning like just barely getting it to this point. So hopefully for next stream on Thursday, I'm gonna go back to doing a review slash critique of stuff I find on r slash destroy my game, because that seemed pretty fun. Like all the devs that like after I critique stuff, I like sent a link to the VOD for each of the devs there, and they all seem to really appreciate it. So I think that's will be a fun way to hopefully grow the community a little bit with like-minded devs. Nothing wrong with that. Most bosses need a hammer to the head. I'd say none of the bosses I work for in the game dev industry, but that's because I've been working at small studios. I'd say a lot of middle managers need the hammer more than the than the highest person. Okay, so I got sidetracked again. I think I did export this. Let's go Sigurd animations, thrown out, walk, and I need to save real bad, or else that is going to be sad when I crash in 5 minutes. I think that's most of them. Okay, so let's test this stuff out. I'm going to go back to the event graph here, and what we did here, I'm basically going to cheat. Like normally, what it would be is like I hold the button whenever I'm holding the button to put the pot on the head. That would turn on a variable here that would go to the animation blueprint and then play. Let's open up the animation blueprint and we can maybe show a little bit. ABP Sigurd. I think it's this one. But there would be like their own state here that like going from probably you could only arrive there from locomotion. You wouldn't be able to do it while you're jumping. Maybe you could. Maybe there would be like a path to get there from there. But once a variable was turned on, there would be a rule that says, "Oh, can you enter this transition based on some variable?" And then in there, it would have all the logic between like hit react, getting well. The hit reacts and all that are going to be played by montages, and what's played in the animation blueprint are usually states. But what we're going to do is just play them all in sequence to see if they kind of look okay. Actually, I'll debug key the walk because I think that'd be fun. Debug key U. And we'll play a montage for all of these. I'm going to turn them all into montages. My boss at Epic might need a bonk. You know, I think it's quite possible. I've not heard amazing things about Epic. Walking into your boss's office, blasting Hammer of Justice on a boombox on your shoulder, and a sledgehammer in your hand would go hard. Hell yeah, it would. We have this. Is this the right one? This is named wrong. Pot block start linked. I think I fucked up the linking somewhere. That's not supposed to be like that. let's open up that sequence again for the pot block start. I think what happened is the linking got it got mislinked somewhere. Yeah, open linked animation sequence. That's not correct. That's not what's being played here. I don't think. Yeah. Let's see. Will that fix it? I believe that's it. Yeah. Yeah, he looks really silly right now, but like I say, if you can't see it in game, I don't care. Like he's gonna have a pot over his head. So this is the block start. Block walk. We'll create a montage out of this. We already have a montage for thrown out, and that's 3 of them. So I did not export the no, here is block idle and block hit react. There they are. And what I'm gonna do is probably just play everything but the walk. So it starts off with the pot block start. Then we'll do the idle once this is completed. And this should work relatively well. Did I not call it pot block idle? Why are you not there? Block idle. Okay. Should have called it pot block idle. I'm back as he has not been bimbified yet. This is our next feature in the game, and hopefully we'll have that done before the end of the month. Block, then hit react, block hit react, and see how they all look together. And then thrown out is the last one. And obviously we're just checking to see if this stuff is like set up right before we move on to like doing any polishing. Because if there's something major that needs polishing, then that would kind of suck. I'm gonna save first. Let's press O. Goes in the pot. Okay. Something strange is happening. I think it's because on completed it starts to blend out and it's blending to the idle or something. But are these all the correct animation? That looks correct enough. Block idle. That looks correct. Okay, so why are you not playing? Did I not set that up right? No, I did not. I think I just copied them and then forgot. I've thrown out, this is what? Block hit react. Block idle. Block start. Okay. And we'll check the walk after. And I think I'm just going to like replace the block in the animation blueprint. Idle, hit react, and then thrown out. Okay, I think that's working relatively correctly with regards to like you don't want like the capsule moving around or anything. That's good enough. And then I'm gonna do a cheaty thing, and I'm going to just replace in the animation blueprint because it's not working with the same logic as playing montages. It's playing a sequence. Event graph, anim graph. This is the old one. Locomotion. No, it is. Oh, right is a blend space. Or is it for the walk run? Yeah, it is. Fuck. That's annoying. I think I can Sigurd run, and then I'll change that to block walk. Pot block walk. I'll discard the changes before I push this. But he should, in theory. Yeah, if I go too much to the left or right or anything, he starts blending to a different animation, so that's why it's kind of going off. But like if I go perfectly straight, it kind of works. And I think that I think I can confirm enough that I'm confident that if I continue polishing stuff, that nothing's gonna like absolutely break. So yeah, that's what I like to do before like diving into anything. I'm gonna see if I can make him twerk. I wholeheartedly endorse this kind of tomfoolery. I think I actually have like a bunch of silly animations that I brought into the project that I just saw on the Fab marketplace. Let me see where did I put them? Because I can't remember exactly. It's been a while. I think there's a fart one. So maybe prototype anims. Prototype anims. Okay, characters, funny animations. Let's see. I didn't delete the map. Lucky us. But there's a ton of little stupid things that I was thinking of potentially. There's one that's kind of like twerking, and it's easy to retarget this to Sigurd. It takes like five seconds. Or maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit more than 5 seconds, but there's a lot of smell related ones of like smelling his armpits and then falling over, slipping on banana peels and stupid shit. This blend space is weird instead of the existing strafe file. This blend space is weird since it's using. It's really strange the way the animation blueprints sometimes works is they don't like update the blend space you've like brought into the animation blueprint, and like you gotta be watching out for that. Like it can get annoying. Keep pressing the wrong thing. Oh, did you add axes when you want axes? Oh no, I haven't had it. You're talking about like swinging axes, right? For like traps beat. I haven't been able to do like anything with like regards to thinking of gameplay or level design type stuff. Jari is working on like a spike trap. Let me see if I can show that up real quick without doxing myself. Where is it? Right here. It doesn't have the most. Actually, I haven't seen the full thing, but presumably it looks good once it's all textured up and everything. But yeah, axes would be fun. Let's get back to what I was actually here to do, which is animate. Since we've now confirmed that all the stuff is working in Engine to some degree, and that we won't cuck ourselves by proceeding, we just have. What should we do? Should we start with the walk? The him taking it, putting it on his head? Should we go like a straight ahead from start to finish, or is there one in particular you guys want to see? I think I saw farting animations in the unused assets. Yeah, there's a lot of there's a couple of them. Gotta make him a little goofy. I think we need to make him more than a little goofy. I mean, he has like a huge bulging eye. If you look, and it's a lazy eye also because I've rigged it so the eye is separate. Has its own separate control. Like when he jumps, it kind of like lags behind the rest of him. Like it's very subtle, but it kind of like tilts a little bit when you run. And there's the hat that just does not want to stay on his head. There's going to be a lot of really just comedic elements here. But yeah, it's more like it's not so much that it's twofold. I don't want to use too many of other people's assets. Like a lot of the fun and the creativity and the humor, I want it to like come straight from the team and be like very authentic. But two, it's like finding a place that's like you kind of either have like a cutscene or like maybe an idle break if you're like go away from the keyboard too long. You have to find a place to actually use them. And I like all the abilities and all that. Like I'm definitely not going to be like putting in like a farting ability where you use someone else's assets. Like every one of those things is like that's going to be 100% us. We're not using marketplace assets for that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the hit react probably first. Because I want to. That's the gist of it. We're gonna have to exaggerate that more because I barely saw that when we were playing around with it. I think the timing was okay for like the initial come up, like just to cut, like the immediate 2 frames is fine. I'm gonna see what a little bit of squashing stretch will do. Like here, and then back to normal. I have it at 100 here. What do I have at base? Basically 110. I'm just gonna copy that. Just copy that. And then by here, it should be back to normal. Like a little bit of bloop. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Like it's not polished yet, but just a squash and stretch is just something people do not use enough. Even like they want to have like a very complex rig that supports deformations in a more complex way, and like just if you can just scale the bones, scale the controls, it's fine. It looks good. It looks good. How much of the project is made up of marketplace / external assets? Right now, the main thing is actually let's just since I'm here, might as well do the thing I've never had the opportunity to show the team much of. Thought processes behind the map and all that. Basically, most of the environment stuff is marketplace assets. There's a couple exceptions, like Sigurd's house, which is something I modeled like 7 years ago. And honestly, I'm kind of annoyed because I feel like when I initially did these, the textures were better. I don't know if there's like a compression thing or I lost the original files because I don't even remember where I got these. I think I might have downloaded them from Sketchfab that was on the ArtStation or something. But yeah, no, like besides the Sigurd's house, which was done a long time ago, most of the actual meshes are either from like Dreamscapes asset packs, or there's another guy who did both a Viking pack and like a Sea Village pack, and that's where a lot of like these wooden structures and stuff come from. But yeah, everything else effectively, I've gone like we started the one we started and just did the most bare bones prototype. Sigurd was just being retargeted from the Unreal Mannequin, so all of the animations for that were just like Unreal Mannequin, except like on the shitty 3D AI made garbage that I got in 3 seconds. And that is since now at this point everything mesh and animation wise is all us, I believe. All we did the attacks. Oh wait, the strafes and the dodges are still. I got them off of some tutorial video. I still love the house you and your classmates did for Sigurd. My classmates did not make the house. That was all me. This was it's on my portfolio. It's one I really liked doing it, but yeah, it's starting to show its age, not just with the fact that there are like some technical stuff that like just don't hold up, but like design wise, there's a lot of things. Look at this scene. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, no. This is all me. The concept was done by my alumni and I back in 2017. We brainstormed the majority of what's going into this showcase, and it's just been sitting in my mind for years and years now, and now we finally got the opportunity to bring it to life. And I always knew it's like a winning idea because everyone I would tell the idea of Sigurd being a Viking warrior who's 92 and just he's the best warrior on the planet, but he can't go to Valhalla just because like he's just too good at fighting. He never died in battle, instead died of old age. Yeah, no, this is lagging so much because I presume it's OBS and all that. But yeah, I forget what led us to this. I think we were talking about like assets that are in the project. It's basically environment stuff right now is like marketplace assets, but eventually, hopefully, we can do something about that too. But if we're not going to have any real funding, then we're going to have to stick for marketplace assets for now, because like this would take like a year for someone to build up all the different assets that are being used right now. It's okay, Pete. I know. I still appreciate that you remembered that factoid. That my alumni were involved in this. Yeah, this project originated way far back, and we had it was like maybe 6 months, maybe even less, maybe like a month or two after we graduated. And this wasn't like a 3-year Gnomon course or something. This was like a 1-year video games program where once we got out, we had a lot more, like our eyes were bigger than our stomach for what we could actually pull off. And although we concepted all this stuff out and we like brainstormed like some fun ideas for mechanics and challenges and all that, it got very like not very far at all. Like probably just brought like the Unreal Mannequin into some very gray box level, and then like that's all it got to. But I always loved the idea, so that's why I'm gonna bring it to life this time. I think this project has a lot of potential in terms of appeal. Like, not only do I think there's just like a market that's not being addressed. Like I think we can do it uniquely well compared to others, because like 3D collectathon platformers, like I think there is a market for that, but even people who would address that, which is very rare to begin with, like what's unique about what they're doing? Like if they don't have the skill or the vision to pull it off, then it's not going to go anywhere. But I think we have all that. We need the manpower now, and that's what I'm working on inspiring others to join up and get stuff done. Let's go back for the third time to animating, as I do need to have this stuff done for Tsura by before Friday, hopefully. Let's go back to the hit react. We're a little bit over halfway done the stream, so we can maybe polish up one or two of these enough so that we're not embarrassed. Okay, so I'm thinking, like, his arms are obviously going to have to do something. I'm just wondering if he has to do anything underneath the pot, or because we're going to be seeing it from this angle, basically. It's like, what can we do to make that, like, visually interesting? Yeah, I'll need time to implement, but I can get it done by Friday if I get these today or tomorrow. Like, I can definitely upload or push the basic stuff, and then you can just, like, you know, have them playing even if they're shitty, and then I'll be able to polish them over the weekend. Because the intent is to make a video on Friday showcasing the process. Should the arms try and pull the cauldron back down? Yeah, I think I had mentioned that earlier on, and I think that's ultimately what we'll have to do. And this might have to come up a bit more to be able to allow that range of motion to happen. Which pot animations have you worked on so far in the stream? I've done all the base now. Like, I've done the blocking out of them. I might have forgotten one. You can tell me by... I think I posted in the animation channel in the Discord whether I got them all, but there's the hit react, the idle, the start, the being thrown. I have to take the taking it off his head. I have to do because, like, he's not gonna be thrown out every single time. So maybe we'll just do that real quick because we want to make sure that we have all the basics before we start polishing. Is the music you're playing on the stream the style you want to be in the game? Ideally, yes. I wouldn't say that the track here is perfect, but it is pretty nice. I like it. It still needs some polish and some iteration, but, like, in general, I'd say, yeah, it has a lot of the same notes. Okay, I see pot start, anim, pot idle, pot exit, forward move, hit react, drain stand. Oh yeah, okay, so we just need the exit, the pot exit, and I might start it by just playing the start in reverse. Oops, block. Should really name these more consistently. Pot block exit. And then I'm basically going to just, like, invert these. Okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 of them, and I think there's currently 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah. So once we have this exit, we'll have all the base we need to go. And I'm wondering if there's a way. This is a feature I've wanted a couple times, where, like, if I could just, like, invert the timeline somehow, and there might be some way that I can't think of to do that. Like, you'd think you'd be able to just, like multiply it by, like, -1 on the X or something, but I don't think there's exactly that. And I think I might just do something really, really janky and do, like, can I grab this? I want to only move it on the X, not the Y. I believe there's a way to X only. just gonna bring this over here, and then the next one, bring this over here. This is honestly pretty stupid, but I think it's gonna work. I'm always thinking of the ways to do the least amount of work possible. But yeah, if there were a way to just invert the timeline, I'd be very happy with that. Oopsie. I think that there's gonna be something wrong here. I see like big changes. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to delete a ton of these keys near the end, but we'll see. All right, and I have to move it back into the. What's going on, bud? So it starts off here. Okay, that actually does not nearly as janky as I thought it would be. Let's see. Hello, Mr. Memi 999090. Yes, it is absolutely too late to start programming at 21 on account of the fact that we're all screwed as a society, and there's not going to be any jobs by the time we learn programming. I learned actually, like, I only got into game dev when I was 24. I'm 32 now. Yeah, I must have been a bit earlier than that. I must have been 23 because I went to school in 2016, and that's like 4 months away. So that would be like 4 months away from being a decade. So I must have been like 22 or something. I was around your age, I think. But yeah, no, just learn programming because it's fun. Like, it's good, and it's a good thing to learn. Like, you're never gonna be like at a disadvantage for learning a new skill, especially one as mind expanding as programming is. Like, even if you go on to make pizzas, like you're not going to be it's not going to be a waste of time to learn programming. And something that's very fun, in my opinion. There's very few things in the world more fun than programming once you get even a little bit competent at it, because going to be able to be like, I want to do something, telling the computer some instructions, and then like visualizing it onto the screen. There's like very few things as like close to being a magician as that. It's just like you've logicked into reality this thing that was once just in your mind. So yeah, I'd say if you're gonna learn anything and you have to make a choice, you're not gonna regret learning programming. So go ahead. Even if it were too late to make a job out of it, just learn it because it's worthwhile to learn. Please, Jordan, I need the cope. And I mean, honestly, like none of us know the future, and we can only make decisions that are likely going to be good, and like from information we have available. And all the information I have is gonna say that like there's nothing wrong with learning It's not like learning how to like sweep the streets from horse shit after like horse-drawn carriages are getting like, you know, reaching when it's apparent that they're going the way of the dodo. It's like you're learning a skill that is going to service you regardless of what you do, just by virtue of the fact it makes you smarter to know programming. So yeah, that'd be my take on things. All right, let's stop with the rhetoric and get back to doing something. The timing is super wrong, but I think I'm just going to export that real quick just to have it there. And make sure that Desura has everything he needs in order to actually make a prototype with the actual assets. It's so much easier to actually do stuff when you have the art assets to back it up. Let's go. Alt exit. I put it over here. And let's see. Create an animation montage. Okay. Learn animation if you hate yourself. Parts of animation, there's like two different fundamental skill sets involved with animation, and they're like super not at all the same parts of the brain. Like, there's the rigging and the whole technical stuff of like, why isn't my animation working? And then there is like the creative part that is like all the animation principles like squash and stretch and timing and all that. And it's very rare to find an animator who's good at both, on account of the fact that, you know, it does involve two majorly different and like non-overlapping skill sets. But learning animation is another one. That's actually the reason why I got into game dev in the first place, was because like I saw animations in like this trailer for Total War Warhammer, where like there's like goblins jumping around and there's artillery crew for dwarves being a lot more stoic, and like imparting character onto like these images on the screen through movement is just something that really appealed to me. And I wanted to learn animation because it's like you can tell such a story just with movement, the whole nature of the character. And it's something that ultimately I didn't end up like specializing in animation, but it's something that's always held like a really close place to my heart. That I'm very picky. Like I'm a very even when I wasn't like knowing a ton about animation, like I wasn't specializing in it, I wasn't doing it at my job, like I'd always be spitballing with the animators of how to actually like do stuff, and they'd always come to me for critique because I've always had an eye for it. I'm still praying some dumbass corp flies too close to the sun, and we end up outlawing AI the same way as it is in Cyberpunk. But that might just be my human need not to be redundant speaking. I don't think AI is going away, and I think honestly, I think people involved in processes get a bit too hung up on the nature of the process. Like it's like I'm not an animator because I can put keyframes on a timeline. I'm not a technical artist because like I'm putting nodes in a graph. Like being a thing is like a holistic experience where you know the whole pipeline and you know all the elements to it, and like the software is just a means to the end there. And AI often can make it easier to like operate certain tools, like create an image, but if you're not very proficient and like very skilled, like an expert of your craft, it doesn't really matter that the AI is doing stuff. Like every couple months you see stuff like, oh, Meshi, it can make these 3D models that are so awesome, and like I go and I test them, and it's like, this is garbage. Like this looks okay. Like it might look okay in like some very constrained context, but like what if I needed to modify the UVs? What if I needed to like modify any of the shapes or the normals or the texture? You know, there's just like a ton of things that go into actually getting the end result on in a render, that it's like AI has a long way to go. Like even if you can get it to like the perfect state where your input produces an output that's exactly what you've stated, it's like still will probably need like the artistic vision to be able to know like how to fix an image and how to like make a better image. It's like a someone who doesn't know art or rendering is like they don't know what Fresnel means. It's like they don't know like what rim lighting is and all that. It's like if you have an image that really requires that, like your art skills are going to transfer through by like knowing like, oh, this is how we fix it. And it's like there's nothing technical in there involved there. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm like either hope pilled or doomer pilled with regards to AI, but like I generally am not scared of it because when you know enough about a thing, it's like you're. I don't think there's ever going to be a point where it if AI gets that good that it's replacing what I'm doing, then we're going to have a lot bigger issues in society because if they can replace what I'm doing, then they can replace making pizzas and putting bricks and like we're just not going to have jobs like in general anymore. Uh, let's see. Animation is fun. It's so fun, but it's so much. Yeah, it is a lot. I went with animation because of the shows I watched growing up and wanting to make cartoons and such, but I didn't know everyone wanted to be one when I got in the industry. Yeah, a lot of I've known a lot of animators that are like I was not motivated by the like cartoon show VFX movie side of things as much as I was like the game side of things. But I always had like like a soft spot in my heart for these kinds of things where we're doing like more Looney Tunes, more like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, kind of Disney, like old school stuff. Like there's a lot of just 2D principles that can be applied in 3D for animation that just aren't very often, and we should just be doing that more. And I think this is a great opportunity to showcase that. And I think tools have evolved to the point where doing what we're doing here would have been very difficult with a small team, even 5 years ago. But these days, like I think we can do it. I think we'll pull it off. Yeah, 12 principles of animation. Like I don't know if I mentioned it earlier in the stream, but like basically like all squash and stretch, timing, spacing, follow through, overlap, etc. All those principles, they completely transferable from 2D to 3D. Like there's no difference whatsoever. And if you're a good 3D animator, 2D animator, I don't see why, in principle, you can't be good at the other. Like as long as you know how to draw or like manipulate a 3D program. But it's like, yeah, you should be able to critique each medium with similar efficacy, just given that they're so similar. Okay, what were we doing? What were we doing, chat? I keep getting sidetracked. I did export this, right? Exit montage. Okay, so, I mean, these are all the base things that we're doing. And I've given you a little taste of the tools. And from this point on, basically, I'm going to be doing a lot less interesting work, where it's going to be me fiddling around with stuff to get stuff exactly right, making sure like hand plants hit exactly at the right point when he's taking his pot off, and it's basically just going to be polishing stuff. And that I don't think is as fun viewing experience. So I think this ended up being a pretty good stream. Like we went for 2 hours and we had more than 10 viewers, which is more than I thought we'd get. So I'm really happy for everyone who showed up, and I hope you all gave a follow. That's about all you can do right now, I think. But hopefully we're gonna, if you're not in the Discord, there should be a link to that in the stream description. All my socials are linked there as well. Every follow on everything helps out, especially as I'm just starting. And I hope to be doing this every Tuesday. Tuesdays will be game dev. Thursdays will be critique of stuff I see on r/destroy my game, as well as some other stuff. Like, there's enough content that gets posted there every day that I should have enough content to provide unique commentary on. And then on Saturdays, I'm going to be streaming gaming, and hopefully often that'll be with my friend Melody, and we're going to be trying out indie games that a lot of people may not have seen. Basically, I want a lot of this channel to be dedicated to like showcasing indie devs and what they're doing. Thanks for streaming and trying not. Yeah, industry is a little bit depressing right now. Dating advice stream when? Maybe on Valentine's Day. That's when we'll do it. Because asking the guy without a date on Valentine's Day, dating advice is probably like the best thing ever. Copying Mika? No. Mika streams Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. I'm doing the opposite. Mostly because I mod during those times, so I can't do both at the same time, guys. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, and had a lot of fun, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.